What was something you thought would be easy? Until you tried it? Snowboarding. I grew up on skis, and when I tried snowboarding I literally just rolled down the entire mountain like a slinky on the stairs. I've heard several people say this. I have a couple friends that grew up in places that they could ski all the time. They said they thought snowboarding was going to be a piece of cake. Both said it kicked their ass. Everyone remembers their first day of snowboarding. I don't, but maybe that's due to the concussion. Playing the guitar. The jump from not being able to play anything to playing basic chords and a couple songs you like isn't that much, and it makes you feel like such a badass. But the jump again to a working musician is astronomical. I tried and just got burnt out, and it wasn't fun anymore. Playing guitar is so much harder than I thought it would be. I've been playing for about 6 months and it's a ton of work. Somewhere between 100 and 200 practice hours. A lot of the fundamentals start connecting to each other and everything comes together. You're probably getting close to that. Running. I was like, yeah, I smoke and drink, but I can definitely run like the wind. Huh, no. Quit smoking after my first run and am now 3 years smoke-free. Yes. I'm also almost 3 years smoke-free. And loving running. Totally changed my life. A lot of the parts from that Ninja Warrior show. I'm a very physically fit guy and always thought that first course looked like a breeze. Then I found a local gym with the different elements set up. Even just that very first part where you hop across a few platforms was tough. It is always unfair to some contestants. Some things such as the jumping and spider wall are very easy if you are a certain height. But I have seen many people fail just because they are not tall enough to do it. Even on the actual show. There was one girl that was too short to reach both sides of the spider wall and fell. However, when I was a kid I went to a Ninja Warrior training gym. And they had things such as the jumping, spider wall, and warp wall. Except sizes so kids could do them. They were not any easier. Things like the warp wall were still the same size, and honestly, they were all very easy. It just takes the right strength and height. Honestly, a child would have an easier time on it if things were scaled down to their size than an adult. Even though they're less strong, their body mass is just so much less that it's easier to move it. For an example, I put on weight intentionally. Going from 130 pounds at my lowest to my current weight of 148. Even though I'm significantly stronger now, I can only do maybe 2 pull-ups more than when I was 130. Why? Because while 18 pounds isn't a lot, moving it over and over is extra fatiguing. Cycling has entered the chat. Many of the hardcore cyclists are obsessed with power-to-weight ratio, spending hundreds on parts to save a couple grams on their bike. You can imagine how this quickly turns to eating disorders. Drawing. Every single time. Been an artist for a long time and this is still true some days. Some days I'm hit with inspiration and feel like I need to draw something. Then it ends up looking like butt. Other days I'll sit down to doodle and come up with something better than if I'd tried. This is honestly the truth. Like, how come I can draw actual good artwork one day yet another day it looks like that of a 3-year-old? Honestly, I'm just happy to hear others go through this as well. Has anyone tried to learn to do a handstand as an adult? How is that so difficult? Thanks, but I'm trying to do the unbroken wrists thing in my life right now. Try yoga. I started and thought it looked so easy. I always worked out. How hard can it be? Holy sh%t. I have face planted and fallen on my ass more times than I can count. My muscles were so sore. It is a great workout but dangerous. Learning a second language. I understand it's far easier as an adolescent, but Wio. Conversational German for an English speaker is very hard for me. Deutsch ist schwer sprach. Vorlami. Come again? Vorlami. Once more. Whisper. Vorlami. Making and maintaining friends as an adult. I never really put much thought into this. Until I had no friends left in adulthood. And realized how easy it used to be as a kid in school in comparison. Any good methods you can share? Asking for a lack of friend. Managing your own time. Self-discipline. There are a lot of things that can distract you, and bam, it's 9 p.m. and nothing has been done. Seriously. You can take one lazy day as an adult and you're somehow a week behind, but not any less tired. Submit a bug report. This speep is unplayable. Pottery. I made a couple of very small, crappy bowls on the wheel. But the thing I made the best and far more often was a giant mess. I can sculpt fine, but those stupid bowls get me. Socializing with a group of people I usually wouldn't hang out with. It's either that or I stay alone forever. But I just can't find any sort of relatability to these people. I've found that hanging out with co-workers is very unfulfilling most of the time, because the only thing we have in common is work. And then we only talk about work. Sigh. I am actually so fortunate to not have this at all, and didn't appreciate it until just now. Of the 6 people in my office, 4 of us really get along and actually have a good bit in common. When we go out, we don't ever speak about work at all. Quitting an addiction. Not that hard. I quit smoking 10 times per day. On the first trip to England. After renting a car, it proved to be a considerable challenge to drive on the other side of the road from what I was used to, especially in the roundabouts and on major highways. Stay left, 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 stay left. Consistently working out. I've found that it's best to do whatever you feel you can actually keep up. Used to do methodical full body workouts when I went to the gym and would get burned out in weeks. But now I just do a muscle or 2 a day, and I've kept at it for about a year now. Rolling down a pretty steep grassy hill when you're in your 60s. Sounds easy and fun. Right? OMG. No. Respect. Working a job. Doing the job physically itself. I have no problem with. Mentally. It's the drain of bad management and feeling like you're wasting your time. That and being middle management. Or a team lead. Or whatever. Still dealing with incompetent management. But now you're responsible for other people too. The emotional/mental drain of wanting to do a good job for the people whose lives you affect. But not being able to do to people above you not caring. Can be crushing. And being caught in the middle, you get blame from both ends and can often feel like speep. Yes. Being a low-level manager is so much more difficult than it looks. You want to help people have good lives and progress in their careers. But you're just as in the dark about everything as they are, while also being expected to convince everyone to get on board with policies you don't agree with. And that's the best case scenario, where the people reporting to you are good at their jobs and don't piss anyone off. As soon as someone on your team starts making things difficult, that becomes your whole job. Studying and working at the same time. Went fine for 1 semester. But next month I'm switching to part-time. It's just not sustainable for my mental health otherwise. Throwing dough to make pizza. And pretty much the rest of the pizza making process. Getting the dough into around 18 pi is tricky. Then getting the sauce even and not on the crust is a process. And getting all of it done as quickly as possible. After several hundred pizzas I can crank them out pretty good now though. Cooking with puff pastry. I'm pretty sure you have to sell your soul to make puff pastry listen to you. Falling in love with the right person. Not turning off my brain. First watch Point Break. And then Bad Boys 2. Trying to stop staring at my computer screen all day long. I keep resolving to stop doing it. But then I just keep falling down rabbit holes of different websites. Golf. I was watching the US Open on TV and seeing the players chatting with their caddies as they took a leisurely stroll down the fairway in the sunshine. I thought that's the game for me. So I borrowed a set of clubs and went out. On my own. In the UK. In winter. I got home wet. Tired. Hungry and covered in mud and scratches with twigs in my hair after hitting about 200 strokes and losing over a dozen balls. I played for a couple of years but I was still pretty bad at it. Golf. A good walk ruined. Being an adult. I always used to think adults were crazy when they told me as a kid that being a kid is the best. Building in Minecraft. Sounds silly but man, I'm bad at building. I've been playing since it was playable and I still make my buildings too small. It's an infinite world. I can have all the floor space I want. And it always turns out cramped. I feel like there's some kind of metaphor on life in there. Beeping life. All through my teenage years. I thought it'd be so simple to get a good paying job. Never get sick and just exist. Feeding myself. Entertaining myself. Then I leave home and struggle every single day. It's so exhausting. Good sex. Actual great mind-blowing sex for both parties takes great physical skills, communication, and being able to pick up on cues. Sex is like dancing. Technically almost anyone can do that, but most who claim to be great would hate to think what others really think. I agree. It's actually rare to meet someone to have that connection with.